Today we're going to go through setting up DMARC for your domain on Microsoft 365. Most people don't realize this. Microsoft 365 does DMARC, but only for emails coming into your organization. For emails going out, the ones with your name and your domain on them, that's actually entirely on you. Microsoft doesn't do anything unless you set it up. So let's go through that. So before we get into the DMARC record itself, you need to make sure that SPF and DKIM are already set up on your domain. DMARC doesn't do that on its own authentication. It relies on those too. If you haven't set those up, we've got videos for those. I'll just pop some links in the description. But now, assuming that your SPF is already set up, there's one thing about DKIM on Microsoft 365 that often catches people off guard. When you add a custom domain to Microsoft 365, they don't automatically turn on DKIM for it. What they do instead is use a default signature tied to your onmicrosoft.com address, the one that came with your account. And that means your emails are technically DKIM signed, but with the wrong domain. So when DMARC actually checks whether the signature matches your from address, it doesn't and it fails. So to fix this, you need to go into your Microsoft security settings and search for DKIM in the search bar, and you'll see a list of your domains. Find your custom domain, the one people actually see when you email them, and if it says disabled, click it and hit create DKIM keys. Microsoft will then give you two CNAME DNS records. You then just go into your DNS and add both of them, and once that's done, come back and you'll be able to enable DKIM for that domain. It can sometimes take, up to 48 hours for DNS to propagate, so don't stress if it doesn't immediately show as active. So once DKIM is live, you can actually publish your DMARC record now. And this again is done through your DNS provider, not inside 365 itself. So go back and log into wherever you manage your DNS. That could be GoDaddy, Namecheap, Cloudflare, whoever your domain registrar is. You're gonna need to add a new text record. For the name field, enter what's up on your screen, except, with your domain instead of yourdomain.com. And for the value, start with this. This will just be a very basic monitoring setting that won't affect your deliverability just yet. I'll add these in the description as well, so you can straight copy and paste. That P equals none means you're in monitoring mode. Nothing gets blocked yet. The RUA part is the address where DMARC reports get sent, and this is where most people hit a wall. Those reports come through as raw XML, and you're not going to want to read them. They look kind of like this. And that's just one report. Once your domain is active, you'll get dozens or even hundreds of these from every inbox provider that's received mail from your domain. And this is where a DMARC monitoring platform like Suped comes in. Instead of having to decode all of that raw XML, you just point your DMARC reports to Suped, and we sort of turn all of that into a really clean dashboard where you can see at a glance what percentage of your emails are passing DMARC, what are failing, what's passing SPF and DKIM, what all your different sending sources are that are causing you problems, and they're actually all listed by name. The part that actually matters though is what you do with that data. The goal of P equals none isn't to stay there forever, it's to give you a clear picture of how you tighten things up. In the Suped dashboard, you can see which sources are passing both SPF and DKIM alignment and which aren't. And once all the legitimate ones are all showing green and you're passing and you've had a few weeks of data to be sure, that's when you can move to P equals quarantine. That sends failing emails to spam rather than the inbox, which is really the first real layer of enforcement that you have. And then once you're comfortable there and your compliance rate is sitting close to 100%, you can finally move to P equals reject, which is full enforcement where anything that fails, so spoofers, will just get blocked outright and the emails won't get delivered at all. That's where your domain is actually fully protected against spoofing, and Suped will actually alert you too if something changes, if a new sender suddenly appears using your domain, or if your compliance rate drops. So you're not having to log in and check the dashboard and the reports constantly. Links to set that all up is in the description below. So just to recap, stay on P equals none for at least a few weeks. The reports will show you every source that is sending email using your domain, your mail platform, your CRM, etc. Once you're confident everything legitimate is fully set up and passing, you can move to quarantine and then eventually reject once you're ready to fully enforce your domain. One extra thing to know is if you have any park domains, that's any domains that you own but aren't actually sending email from, you should set up a DMARC record on those straight away with just P equals reject. Otherwise, attackers will happily abuse those domains you've forgotten about. It really only takes a couple of minutes and it locks that down completely. So that's it for Microsoft 365. If you want to actually just check what your DMARC setup looks like right now and whether it's set up properly or not, we've got a free tool for that. Link in the description below, and it looks kind of like this. Otherwise, hopefully that was all helpful. If it was, chuck the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you in the next video.